I just came out as a white supremacist because I voted for Donald Trump. I just came out as a white supremacist because I voted for Donald Trump.
This is not what you want. Trust and believe, because I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not even going to watch the whole video. And I'm saving everything that you say so you can never go back, including all the videos. So you can never go back and say, I've never said this. But I'm just letting you know that I've already known that you've never seen me as a human being, and that's obvious. And yes, you have come out as a fascist because that's what you're supporting. And that's what most of your new followers that are still supporting you for some reason. Your old followers were all about progression and real change. But the people you're attracting now are obviously helping you in your little echo chamber, your new cult, so to speak. And the fact that you bring up my child is the reason why I'm warning you that I'm going to air everything out, the way that you've treated me, the way that you've talked to me, everything, so that people know that this has been a long time coming. I'm not gathering a group of people that don't like you. There is just a group of people that have never liked you because they've known who you really were. That's really all it is. These aren't people that I've personally gathered. These are people that you have made not like you. Do you understand the difference here? And I'm not going to insult you. I'm not going to say anything towards you that you haven't already said about yourself. And you do a great job insulting yourself as it is. I don't need to go out of my way to argue with a child who is 37 years old. I'm 27 now. I am not 25. You can't manipulate me, gaslight me, and lie about me, and then get me to crash out. You can bring up my child all that you want, which you did, and I'm going to have a screenshot in this video so that people know why I'm replying to you. Example one, you claim that you care about Palestine and probably know that people are boycotting Starbucks for more than the reason of just Palestine. But you support your new supporters going to Starbucks. Samson, of course, understands that it's more than just for Palestine, but of course, Allie doesn't care because it's not affecting her, right? Example B. She claims, probably, like, because I didn't watch her whole rant because it was kind of pointless and she was taking everything out of context, I'm sure, to make herself look better, that she's probably saying that I'm doing this to her and attacking her on purpose. But you know why I responded to her the way that I did? Bringing up my child in an inappropriate time to do so. And I said, I'm going there, trust and believe, because bringing up people's children is a red line that you shouldn't cross, right? And that's the thing, is I don't understand why she doesn't see what she's doing wrong here in general. And I knew she was going to make a video. This was actually bait. I wanted her to make a video. Are you going to make a video? Go ahead. Go right ahead, Allie, and make a video. You don't think that I don't know what you're about by now? You really don't? She was proving my point, and I baited her into doing exactly what I knew she was going to do. But my point is I'm a lot smarter than she gives me credit for. She thinks that I'm not smart. But obviously, since she's fallen for one of my traps and did not give full context, like I said, there's full context of why it happened the way that it did. And yes, I did say she came out as a whitey supremacist because she did. Like, you full out did. Even with the conversation with me alone, it showed me that you did not see me as a human being or never respected me as a person. And your repost alone, I hope people start looking at your reposts. And yes, if you delete that other video, I saved it. So, and I took screenshots and screen recordings of all of your reposts. So have fun not being what you claim you're not. So I'm coming on here today to address the ASAC pro Trump anti trans rant. Specifically, as a trans person, I am tired. I am tired of hearing the same rhetoric, the same propaganda against our people. And I am not a full representation of trans people. I do not speak on behalf of the entire community, but I speak solely based on my experiences with the same type of propaganda and how it affects my life. Being trans is not a choice. And it's not something that you wake up one day and you decide. Scientific studies say that they're not really certain, but it could be a genetic factor, which means that you definitely don't choose to be trans. But this is only based on research that they have. It's not fully decided whether it's a genetic component or not, but they're saying it's pretty likely. But all of that aside, let's address the fact that Allie thinks that most people like us that detransition seems to mean that all trans people, trans youth specifically, should not be put on hormone blockers, etc. But the reason why trans youth is put on hormone blockers by a professional is so that in the future they can decide whether they want to fully go through with it or not. So they can wait and block puberty so that they can decide in the future if they're really 100% sure about it. And they do go through professionals before this happens, and they do get diagnosed with gender dysphoria. This is not something that you just go to a school and have happen to you or something. That's not how it works. Detransitioning is very valid, but it's also very rare. And it doesn't mean that the entire community should be stopped from being who they really feel that they are or who they know they really are. Because again, being trans or being a part of the community is not a choice. And if I could choose differently, I wouldn't change a thing. And some people would, and that is totally valid. But we shouldn't put that on an entire community of one person didn't want to be trans and made that mistake. So it's all of your problem. That's not how this works. And I know I can speak for 99% of trans people when I say that we are not trying to force your kids into being trans. We don't care about your kids in that sense to force them into it. And most of us wouldn't wish having gender dysphoria on our worst enemies because it is not something fun or to be celebrating. And it doesn't mean that you should hate yourself for being trans. That's also an issue too. Is too many trans people don't like themselves because of it and because of the rhetoric surrounding it. But I love myself for who I am and who I knew I was since I was 5 years old. Since I was able to speak, I knew that I was not who I was born as. And a lot of kids, when they really are who they are, they know it as soon as they're self aware or as soon as they can cognitively finish a sentence. And as for all of the pro life rhetoric that Allie is spreading in this situation, I hope that she's like funding foster homes and batting to home for the kids that were forced to be born and shouldn't even have had to be forced to be born due to the same rhetoric. Because there are plenty of kids in the world right now without a home, and foster homes are crowded. And with how passionate she sounded about this, I really hope that she's like going to bat and donating to these organizations to help the children that are alive now, instead of worrying about the fetuses and not caring about the fact that our children aren't even safe in schools anymore. But as a trans person who has always known that I was trans since I could speak, it's just it's disappointing but not shocking that she would vote against the best interest of the people that defended her the most, all the marginalized communities that went to bat for her. And I don't regret it because I've learned a lot in this situation, but it just hurts. But it's not really surprising. She's always treated me as like differently. Like she's never actually liked me, and that was obvious for a while. I'm not even mad. I'm really not, because if you want to listen to propaganda from the right, so be it. You're becoming the exact thing that you claim that you were against. And everyone's able to see that now. The truth has been revealed. And I don't mind if people tell me, oh, it's a gotcha moment because we've been trying to tell you this. But, there was a part of me that kind of knew it, but I was giving her the benefit of the doubt because there were some things that were unjustified happening to her. So, of course, regardless, I was still trying to stand for the truth. And I knew there would be a day where I realized that she wasn't a perfect person, and this is actually worse than I expected it to be. But am I surprised? Not really. If something's not affecting her, it doesn't seem to matter. It's like, I'm not trans, I'm not marginalized, and I probably will never get pregnant. So why not spread certain rhetoric that I hear from like Alex Jones or Joe Rogan? You know what I'm saying? But anyways, transition is valid. Women have suffered from the bans on their rights to their bodies, the lack of bodily autonomy, and we may be losing rights now, but we've never had equal rights compared to the like the white supremacists. Just saying, we've never had full rights. So it's not even that we're fully losing rights, which we are. It's not even about that. It's that we've never had equal rights to begin with. And it's no longer being sugar coated. It's straight up right in your face. And I hope I explained all of this properly, but trans people don't choose to be that way. Like, we just want to make sure that trans kids become trans adults. Like, just become adults. Because teenagers with gender dysphoria end up leaving the earth, and we don't want that. And that's why they go to a professional, they get hormone blockers, and they get to choose in the future if they still feel that way. They don't go straight into surgeries or have like that forced on them. That is white right wing rhetoric. You know, that's the supremacy rhetoric. And I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired. But I do not support anyone who is a Trump supporter. So if you voted for Trump, you can see your way out, or you can argue with me and I can block you myself because I'm maintaining my peace. And nothing against anyone. I wish everyone well. I hope I explained this properly. And this will affect all kinds of women. It will, and it is already. So I wish everyone luck, be safe, stay alive if you're trans, and survive and thrive out of spite. We can't lose any more. You know, we can't lose any more people. And I wish everyone the best. And I appreciate all of you that have supported each other and me through this entire debacle. Another Trump presidency is going to be hard on all of us. And this video might get taken down, but I'm at a point where I just don't care if I get banned from this app. But I appreciate you all and thank you for listening to my rant. Also, I will demonize Trump supporters because they have literally like threatened my life in the past few days since Trump was elected. Only them. So I will definitely be blocking and demonizing them for sure. I will not be supporting anyone who has voted for Trump. I will literally stand my ground because now all of a sudden the Trump supporters want to be like, you should like love me even though I voted against your best interests because it's immature to not. Then I'll be immature because before it was, and even now it's still, you shouldn't exist because you're forcing this onto our kids. No, we're not. We don't care enough about your children to do that. We care enough for your children to not want to vote against their best interest, but clearly you don't. But that's a story for another time. But if you know, you know, and hopefully I explained this correctly. Thank you for listening to my rant. So I'm coming.
Xejionox, what is this filter? And now you're threatening me because of who I voted for.
Number one, these are based on my Sims character. You know, the character I've had as an icon for the past 3 or 4 years. Two, you've never went to bat for me. In fact, you've done the complete opposite, and other people have witnessed it. But I won't go there. That's a story for another time. Also, you can say however you feel about me. Make another video. You think that's going to hurt me? And you can lie about me all you want, but I'm saving all the evidence. Like, you think I'm just going to come up here and spout nonsense like you're doing? Why don't you show proof for your claims that anyone is coming after you the way that you claim? Because not once have I ever said anything against your life or your livelihood. All I'm doing is pointing out your behavior and how it proves me correct every sentence that you speak. And you claim you have nothing to hide while deleting every single thing that you have to hide, which I've been saving and screenshotting anyways. So if you have nothing to hide, why do you keep deleting comments and videos because you're ashamed of them? It's not a matter of disagreeing with who you voted for. It's a matter of your values and lack of empathy compared to anyone else's. Because most people that voted for Kamala weren't like supporting her in a sense where she could do no wrong. Like, I 100% would criticize Kamala on the way she handled the Israel Palestine situation and how she handled the supporters of Palestine. I never 100% agreed with or liked any politician, but Kamala winning for president would give marginalized people more time to come up with a plan and more time to figure out how to stop fascism. You don't care about what happens under Trump because you think it's not going to affect you, and it will. And I can't wait until it does. And unlike you, I'm not going to crash out on the internet. I'm not going to flip out because I know that I'm in the right. And I'm glad you like the eye filter. It's off putting on purpose. It's based on my character that I draw, not based on anything serious. No one is threatening you. And it's so funny how you literally claim that I'm the only one who's on the internet all the time. Maybe because I'm actually doing my research and educating myself. Maybe you should take some notes. And let's say I did do a spell. It would be a truth spell. It would make you expose yourself, and all of the negative actions that you would be doing would intensify the consequences and get worse over time. But that's only if I did a spell. It would be a self exposure spell, like exposing your true thoughts and the true things that you've been hiding, like white supremacy, for an example. But that's only if I did a spell. It would make your consequences of your actions worse until you changed your behavior and tried to become a better person and educated yourself. But no, I'm not going after you with anything. You're doing enough on your own. So no one has to go after you, and no one has to make you look like a bad person because you're doing that well enough on your own. In the day that you blocked me off of your live, I was not drinking that day. I was completely sober and cognitive. That was not when you blocked me. There are people that have witnessed this. So you can make things up all that you want, but we have all the evidence. Why do you think I'm so calm and collected right now? Because I know I'm in the right. I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I'm a saint, but I definitely have not done anything so bad that you have to crash out on the internet again. But, you can tell me how you feel. You're just scared too. And I can't wait to see it. So have fun crashing out over nothing, over the consequences of your own actions, in fact. But if I was to do a spell, it would be you doing it to yourself. That's how it would go.